doing, let's say, residential alarms? Why were you going to do any residential alarms, especially since you were doing many of the commercials at the time?
Okay. To a homeowner back in '63, you wouldn't get past the front door. Nobody was doing it, and I wasn't doing it. I was doing like 7-Elevens, the S&H green sand stores, offices, warehouses, and as time went by, some of my customers who had commercial systems wanted something for their houses. There really wasn't much of anything available, and I began to modify some of the commercial alarms and redesign them for residential use, and through word of mouth, advertising in the Boston Yellow Pages, and by other companies advertising on radio and their own advertising, and the term burglar alarm got to be a topic of discussion, and I began to do more residential work than commercial work.
Now, were you still buying product at the time from a supplier?
In the early days until 1985, between 1963 and 1985, we built our own control panels. I designed my own panels, and everything worked well until about 1985, when it was cost prohibitive, and I began purchasing systems from other manufacturers, and worked out very well.
Now, any of the systems that you were manufacturing, that you when you said you stopped manufacturing, whatever year it was, are any of those still in use, do you think?
Yes, some of them are still working out there 24 hours a day, but there aren't too many left because I try to upgrade them.
So you need to bring them to the
current state-of-the-art product.
But it's amazing to hear that you still have systems out there that you manufactured back at that time.
Well, there are some people who say if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Now, what would you consider top 3 significant events in the industry? Do you have any?
Yes, I have an opinion on that. The very first very important decision was made by the FCC in 1965, called the Cartophone decision. Cartophone decision was a decision by the FCC to permit the installation or the attachment of equipment to the telephones. Western Electric, AT&T. This Western Electric, they had a monopoly on the manufacture of telephone equipment. If you wanted a phone, you could get any color as long as it was black. It was a rotary dial, and the gentleman by the name of Mr. Carter was manufacturing a product for sales to the oil fields in Texas, whereby a call would come in from someone who wanted to talk to an engineer out in the field. Well, they had two-way radios at the main office of the oil company, and they could talk to a supervisor out in the field miles away. But they needed some way to talk to the person who's calling in on the telephone line. So he invented a acoustically attached microphone and speaker so that the call would come into the office. They would want to speak to a supervisor miles away out in the oil field. So in the office they would arrange the telephone coupled with the transmit and receive speakers so that the guy out in the field could talk to the person on the telephone who might be calling from New York, for example. and the phone company would not let him attach that acoustic equipment to the telephone system. No electrical connection, but it was acoustic only. And he sued AT&T and Western Electric, FCC, then approved the so-called Cartophone decision, which allowed the connection of equipment made by manufacturers other than Western Electric.
What year was that, do you recall?
I think it was 1965, the Cartophone decision.
65.
So because of that, now you could buy a blue phone or a green phone. Then the alarm companies would be able to attach communication devices, tape dialers, and so forth. So that was a very important decision in this business.